Hello everybody, long time no see. I have not uploaded in a while. Long story short, my hard drive fucking died. And then, after a while, I got a new hard drive, and I didn't really feel like doing anything on it, like making videos and stuff. And then, when I tried to do one, the videos won't save to my computer anymore, for some reason. So I gotta figure out what the fuck that's all about. But anyway, today I'm trying something new, because one thing I am very interested in is trucks, and I don't have anyone to talk about trucks with. My friends have no idea what the hell I'm talking about anytime I ever bring up anything truck related. And also, this is a prop. This microphone is not on. And since I don't own an easel, because I'm fucking poor, easel, that's the right word, I think. I have a chair with a fucking mop that I jammed up its ass, so yeah. And also, this is just for writing stuff on. Anyway, so I don't know how this is gonna go. No script. I'm just totally doing this random. Anyway, I just had to stop the video to see if that was actually readable on the thing. And by readable, I mean like the right way, like not backwards. Anyway, if you can't see that, that doesn't matter, because I don't, yeah, that's probably not going to matter anyway. I'm just going to go off about random semi-truck stuff, because why not? Anyway, so I live in North America, so I am familiar with like shit like Freightliner, Kenworth, all those ones. So this is not really going to be for European brands at all. Anyway, so first, today, the little story here. So today on the bus, because I wanted to be funny, I was just I was sitting with my one friend, and I was naming every single fucking truck that came down the highway, and at one point I said, I bet I can guess which brand is going to come next. I told him I can guess what the next truck's going to be before it even shows up. So I guessed Freightliner Cascadia, because me, with all the truck knowledge that I have, I can reasonably assume that the next truck is going to be a Freightliner Cascadia, because I know that they are the #1 seller in North America. Now, he does not know that. No one else fucking knows that, except for me, because I'm a fucking truck nerd. Anyway, so I guess Freightliner Cascadia, and I got it right. So, that's pretty cool. Now, in, like, where I live and stuff, I narrowed it down to, like, Freightliner Cascadia, Volvo V&L, International LT, because, like, those are all the highway ones you're gonna see. And, yeah, I was right. So, moral of the story. Freightliner Cascadia, Volvo V&L, International LT are the most popular streamlined trucks, like aerodynamic streamlined fucking garbage. I think. That's just the ones I see most where I am. Also, Kenworth T680 next gens, I've been starting to see those. Peterbilt 579s, all that stuff. Mack is not there because they can't make a highway truck to save their lives. They're just like, they're for like rugged shit. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, on the subject of curb sniffers. For those of you who don't really know trucks, those are the ones where the hood just goes like that instead of like that. So now I know a lot of like hardcore truckers probably think they're shit, which in many aspects, yes, they are, very much so. But a certain type of curb sniffer I think is cool is basically you can take any of those mid-roof sleeper and rip the side skirts off, and it'll look like a truck that can actually do some work. That's such an insult to all the curb sniffers that are actually good. Anyway, so side skirts. I'm gonna explain those real quick. Okay, so here is my drawing of a semi-truck. if I was actually gonna put time and effort into that, it'd be better, but I'm not fucking doing that. Anyway, so for those of you who don't know trucks, these things, those are like for aerodynamics. They make it more fuel efficient, I guess. I'm pretty sure they actually really, I think they really do make a difference actually. Anyway, so this part is the side skirt. Now, the trucks where they don't have these, you're gonna see stuff there like a fuel tank, a battery box, and all that shit. Anyway, so that you can rip off this. You can also rip off this. That's the fairing. So those basically don't really hide anything. They just sort of bridge the gap between the truck and the trailer. Those look good on some trucks. But if you make them too big, like on the Freightliners nowadays, like the new Cascadias, they got like so much, like they got so much extra, and it's getting too big. By the way, this is a mid-roof sleeper. A full roof sleeper would be like all the way up to there, except that would be a wind scoop because this is a mid-roof sleeper, and they can make just that a wind scoop nowadays. So all the ones where it goes up super high, not always a full roof sleeper. Wind scoop. Anyway, now this is fine as long as you don't make it too big. This one, this, if you take a curb sniffer, like maybe one from like the older ones can look good with this, but like the newer curb sniffers, where it's too aerodynamic, like it's getting crazy, you can make it a mid-roof sleeper and rip that off, and that's how you make it look good, in my opinion. I think the ones like this, like the Freightliner Cascadia, and the International LT, even though International is fucking garbage, I've heard. I mean, I'm 16, I don't have any opinion on these because I don't drive them, but looks, the International LT, as long as it's not the Lone Star with that weird ass grill, the International LT mid-roof sleeper, missing the side skirts where you can see the fuel tank and all that stuff, that actually, I kind of like the look of that. Same with the Cascadia. And yes, I like, actually my favorite ones are the older ones, not like super old, but you know, there's this era of Freightliners that I really love for some reason, like the FLD, the Columbia, the Century, and the Coronado. Those four specific ones, even though for ones like the Coronado, I don't think reliability, I don't think they're super great. I don't know for sure, but like that, those eras of Freightliners, from like, yeah, the FLD 120, 132 is pretty good. I think it's the same as the classic XL, but I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this because this opinion is definitely not of the same as probably a lot of other hardcore truckers and trucking fans probably. I do not like them with a fucking ton of chrome, or just very much chrome in general, because I prefer them like stock and stuff. I don't know, I just think the well, I know they do come stock with a lot of chrome, like the 132s with the full chrome bumper and stuff like that. It is stock. I mean the ones with like plastic and stuff on them, because those ones look more like they're worked way more and stuff, even though they're not. Like the 132, you can work that probably way more than the 120. But like when I see the old ones going down the highway, I like the ones with sort of like the man, it's really hard to explain. I don't know, the chrome just looks too done up for me for like a work truck. even though they are still work trucks and they do just as much work. But yeah, I guess I could put it this way. But given the choice between a Freightliner FLD 120 and a Freightliner FLD 132, I think I would take the 120 every time. Like, I think I prefer the black plastic bumper and that not super chromy looking grille. It looks more like aluminum. I don't know if it is. I don't know what it's actually made of. But I prefer that to the FLD 132, where you might have a full flat chrome bumper and a full chrome grille and all that stuff. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I don't need a ton of chrome on it. I think it looks, when it's like an old beat up plastic piece of, like with the plastic bumper, or if it's got like the plastic side skirts and maybe it only has half of it on. An FLD or 120 or a Columbia or a Century like that. Yeah, I think those look really cool. That's just me. I'll probably go more in depth on it in another episode, because that is something I would like to dive into, but I might need to write out something to be able to explain it better, because I don't know if I can do that off the top of my head. Anyway, now, another thing I want to talk about is fucking Kenworth over here thinking they can discontinue the W900, which by thinking they can, I mean they did it. It's already been announced. And Kenworth, that fucking kind of annoys me a lot, because the W900, T800W, and the C500 are all being discontinued in 2026 because Kenworth wants to move from their 1.9 meter legacy cab all to their new 2.1 meter cab, which is the one that's on like W990s and T680s and T680 next gens and all that. Now, before I explain why I don't like that, I want to talk about the T800, not the T800W, the T800, because I don't know what the fuck happened to this thing. It's been removed from Kenworth's website for quite a while now. Like I went on, I have the Kenworth app. Okay, yes, yeah, I have the Kenworth app on. Actually, I don't have it on my phone. I have it on my tablet, I think, that I never use. Anyway, so the T800. One day I went on and it wasn't there. And when I back before they announced that it was being discontinued, the T800W and stuff. If you looked up, are they still making the T800? It just says the years. I think it's like 1980 something. I don't know when it came out. I might know. I know it was in the 80s. It was like 80. It was 83, 86, somewhere in the 80s. I know that. And it said it was making it from then, whatever year it came out, up until the current year. But it's not on the website. And when they announced the trucks they're discontinuing, they just said W900, C500, and T800W. So I have no idea why they removed it from the website, because I assume they would still be making them. If they're still making the other ones, I assume they would be, right? But what am I trying to say here? Oh yeah. I bet if you look up now anything on the T800, it's just gonna bring up stuff for the T800W, which is basically the exact same thing except the hood's wider. Anyway, so I'm actually gonna write something down real quick. T800 is missing. I don't know where shit on it went, like from being not on the website and to just being referred to as the T800W on the ones they're discontinuing, and they didn't mention the T800. I don't know. Anyway, I assume they just grouped it in with the T800W, maybe. Anyway, so back to the other thing, Kenworth discontinuing the W900, the iconic model since 1961. Yeah, that sucks. One, I don't really feel like, I don't think if they do that, Kenworth isn't going to have any traditional long hood models anymore. Like, the W9, okay, the W990 probably could be considered a long hood, I don't know. There's like, you can find trucks from history, everything from a long hood, like a long hood to like a very, very curb sniffer, and every single thing in between. And I don't know exactly when it crosses the line from being a long hood to a curb sniffer, if that makes sense, because they can go like straight out, they can go like this, and you can have like every one in between. So I'm sure the T800 could be considered a long hood. I mean, not T800, W990. I'm sure the W990 could be considered a long hood. But anyway, the W900's the traditional long hood that everybody knows and loves since 1961, and Kenworth is discontinuing it. And they say it's because changing emission regulations and component constraints. Whatever the fuck that means. Number one, I don't know what they mean by component constraints. I didn't read too far into it. But does that mean component constraints? Components, you need components to build it, and you're constrained on the components. So does that mean they're having trouble getting the components? Which I don't think that's what they mean, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff they use and the materials they use to make that stuff is all similar stuff to what they're using in their other trucks, unless the cab is made of a different thing. Then they're more aerodynamic ones. Anyway, in changing emission regulations, well, can't you just make the trucks fit that? I know it's easier said than done, but I'm not going to dive into those two because I'm just probably going to come off looking really stupid if I try and explain why I disagree with those two things, because I'm not fully up to date on all that emissions shit. Anyway, so, but I think they should not, because these trucks, I believe, still have a huge market in North America. Like for example, logging companies and stuff, I'm sure they love to use the T800W, maybe especially the C500, and maybe the W900 too. Even though between the three, the W900 is the most one that is seen on highways. I've actually seen a couple C500s on the highways where I live, because I live that far into Canada, and by that far I mean it's not super far into Canada, it's just like in a foresty area. One of those is right. So there's not very many other trucks that would fit the applications that those ones do, because like Peterbilt doesn't really make anything like that. Like they discontinued their 389, which kind of was, I think, a little too low to the ground to do anything like the logging and stuff. I mean, unless you put big tires on it and gave it a lift, which then it'd probably be great. But also, not many other companies in the Big Seven are doing that. And by the way, the Big Seven is Kenworth, Peterbilt, Volvo, International, Mack, Western Star, Freightliner. Basically, the 7 most popular semi-trucks on the road in North America. And Volvo's there, even though they're not North American, but because they're really fucking popular over here. For some reason. Just because they're another streamlined, aerodynamic curb sniffer. Anyway, I did not think I'd say that this many times in this video, curb sniffer. Yeah, that's a term I heard. I didn't even like think of that on my own. That was kind of obvious though, I think. Anyway, so yeah, Freightliner doesn't really make anything that would do that. I mean, the 122 SD, but I don't know. I don't know if that's as like tough and rugged Maybe it is. The 122 SD might be able to do it. I don't know. But even Mac doesn't make anything super like no other company in the Big 7 I know makes anything on the level of the C500. Like the W900, T800W, no, the W900, yeah, there's other ones that do like Peterbilt and Freightliner with, no, 122 SD. I'm not going to talk about that. The W900, yeah, like there are other companies in the Big 7 that may make a model like on that level, almost like highway wise and stuff. T800W, and not really. C500, definitely not. I can't think of a model that any of those other 6 brands sell, or even Kenworth, that is like C500. I think Kenworth might be the only one that makes one that like big, because I'm pretty sure C500s can get pretty fucking big. Anyway, also one thing I forgot to write on here. It says popular, because these 3 are the popular ones. Not because they're good, just because they're aerodynamic, exactly what big companies are looking for. Anyway, so yes, I think these trucks disappearing, the W900, T800W, and C500 are going to leave a pretty good sized hole in like the markets where they need like big tough trucks like that. I think actually I don't even think Western Star is, because they Western Star discontinued all like their big ones. See, they all swapped them out. Now they got the 49X, 47X, 57X. Is that the only 3 that they sell? I think so. The 47X, smallest, they're used for like dump trucks, cement trucks, like basically, I don't know if you can put a 5th wheel on them, at least not from the factory. I don't think you can. The 49X, you definitely put a 5th wheel on that, because it's an American Truck Simulator, and with a power hood, it may look like a more tougher and rugged truck. 57X, it's basically a Cascadia. Because, you know, Freightliner, Western Star, they're both owned by Daimler. They're going to use the same parts, probably to save money. I think the only thing that's different is the interior. From the outside, a 57X with a full roof sleeper, and a Freightliner Cascadia with a full roof sleeper, they're the exact same sleeper. Yeah, I think even the whole like body's basically the same. They just changed the mirrors on them, and the hood's different. So yes, I want to do a segment in one of these where I can like go through and talk about like how to tell them apart. Because yes, I want to talk more about trucks and stuff. Anyway, so what else can we talk about? So here I have jotted down the Big 7. These are the Big 7 truck brands in North America. These are the 7 most popular you're gonna see on the road. And if you're wondering where I got the order, it's literally just the the order they were added into American Truck Simulator. So, because, you know, they started out with Kenworth and Peterbilt, then they added Volvo, then they added International, then Mack, then Western Star, and then Freightliner. So the Kenworth, Peterbilt, Volvo, International, Mack, Western Star, Freightliner. Not only is it the Big 7, but it's also the order they were added in American Truck Simulator. Big 7. Anyway, also, one last thing. The only one on here that is not North American is Volvo. And even though Volvos are, like, in comparison, like, for reliability, in comparison to, like, the other ones, like Kenworth and, maybe, you know, it just sort of seems like all new trucks nowadays are fucking, can be very, very unreliable with all the fucking computers and shit they have in them. But besides that, like, Volvos get a lot of hate, which, yeah, I guess, because they're kind of, like, in a lot of aspects for, like, reliability and stuff, and all the computery junk in them. Like, all the other new ones nowadays. Like they all have new trucks that have a fuck ton of computers. It all has computers. It's more tech than engine. Actually, yeah, it definitely is. Anyway, so Volvo gets a lot of hate, but they're the only ones on here from a different continent, and I feel like to go across the pond, because they're Swedish, from Europe, to go across the pond and break into a new market, and they're like the only ones who have done it. Might be for lack of other companies trying, like who knows, maybe one day we'll be seeing Scanias over here, or DAFs. Actually, I hear Scania is really good for like I don't know, just being a good company. I think being good to their customers and stuff like that. I hear Scania is good at that. But yeah, I like DAF just because, you know, Kenworth and Packard and stuff. Yeah, I think it takes a lot to break into a new market over in another continent like that, and Volvo seems to be like the only one who has done it. So I guess if there's one thing we can give props to Volvo for, even though they kind of maybe aren't super good to break into a new market, like, or new market in this trucking market in across the on the other side of the world, and actually get that popular. I think they're like probably in the top 3 out of these 7 that you'll see on the road. So now, like, white Volvos, yeah, they maybe deserve some props for that. Once again, even though they're kind of shit. Anyway, so moving on. Maybe one last thing I want to go over, because I don't have a ton of space on my phone, and I think this video is gonna stop soon because I don't have any fucking space. Anyway, so maybe how to like determine each of these. If you want to spot trucks on the highway and be able to know what they are. Anyway, so maybe start simple. So like front ends are a big indicator. Kenworth, like once like the W900, they're gonna be like a big fuck. I don't want to have to pause and draw it on here every time. So it'll be like for like in the case of like the W900 and the older ones, the one with the 1.9 meter cab, like a big rectangle, and in the top, and it's sort of gonna go like up on an angle and then like up to a point in the middle with the red emblem there, and then ones with the 2.1 meter cab. 2.9 would be fucking huge. 2.1 meter, like for like the W990, it's just one massive line down the middle, like massive line of chrome down the middle. Wait, did I say W990? I think I did. If I didn't, I meant W990. And T680s, I can't think of them right now. Oh yeah, like the older T680s, like have like 2 sections of grille, basically. Anyway, Peterbilt, similar thing, except like they always have the red oval at the top. Peterbilts more often have like, you can see like the lines, individual lines, like on the older Kenworths, or the ones being discontinued. Volvos, they have a massive diagonal line down the grille, and yeah, they'll have like one sunroof on like their full sleeper ones, like with the V&L and stuff. They'll have a big sunroof. With the Kenworth W900, they have like 2. They have two sunroofs in the front. Like this isn't including side windows. This is just like on the front of the sleeper. Like if this was a full sleeper, they'd be like 2 windows there. Volvo has like one big square one there. Internationals, very easy to spot in international. They have this dumb fucking sleeper thing where sort of like if this was a full roof sleeper, this bit right here, it's gonna go like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's so fucking weird. Like it'll have like go. Hold on, let me see if I can draw this for a second. Yeah, like that. It's like a lip. It goes like out over the front, and it's like from a bird's eye view, it's very like rounded. It's sort of like that. If like that's the grill and stuff. It's very rounded. International is very weird, alright? Don't question it. Macs are easy. They say Mac right across the front almost all the time, unless they're an older one where it's got the, on the grill, it'll have like a little, that's very bad, but, it'll have like that, and then, yeah. Something like that. That's how like the older Pinnacles will have it. I like the older Pinnacles and stuff. Western Star, they the older ones, like before they switched to the Freightliner cabs, they had like very round sleepers. It's stupid. Like whereas other trucks from the back, like, imagine like then this is like where the wheels are on the back and stuff. Sort of. The sleepers are like very like rectangular. Western Stars would be like this, basically. That's a bit pronounced, but yeah, the old Western Star sleepers are very round and stuff, and they put the fairings on it to make it look more rectangular, which is helps from if you're looking at it from the back because it makes it look a bit better. And Freightliner grills, I think they'll always sort of be like horizontally graded and stuff. The emblem looks like that and stuff. Anyway, so as I was saying, I got cut off because I ran out of space on my phone. Freightliner emblem looks like this. If you can see that, you probably can't. It's very hard. It's just an oval, like a very long rectangular oval, very long and thin, just as Freightliner inside. But the one place you can always tell a Freightliner, if it's one of the newer ones, is the sleeper. Now, Freightliner has a very iconic top window on their sleeper. Now, hopefully I could draw this good, but if this was like the wall of a sleeper, the lower window is gonna look something like this. Fuck. Something like that, very basic. That's pretty much what they all look like. But then they have a top one, and I think I can't remember which angle it goes on. I think it basically looks like this. Like that. It's a triangle shape. Because it's window, it's always black, and it's like a triangle thing. Yeah, it's like a triangle with no pointy edges. It's like a rounded triangle, and I'm pretty sure it's at like this one. So like the fairing, like this, would be like along here. Side skirt would be like along that way. It's like a big sleeper. They'd be farther apart than that, and probably smaller than that. Well, farther apart, I guess, then the size doesn't matter. But, yes, round triangle. You see that on the sleeper at the top? It's a Freightliner. Yeah, and on the newer Cascadias, actually, I don't know if they have this always. I guess when they don't have this, they have like an outline. It'd be like an indent, and it's maybe has like a vent in the middle. I don't remember exactly. But, yeah, this, hold on, let me color that in. Anyway, if there's one thing you should take away from this video, this round triangle is iconic to Freightliners, and that is the top window in their sleeper. So if you see a full roof sleeper and it's got that, it's a Freightliner. I think probably a Cascadia. I don't know if they had it on any other ones. But yes, that's what that looks like. And one last thing I draw before I go is what that was replacing. Because this is the new one. That older one that you'd see in like the FLDs and stuff like that. And it basically was the same. Why am I always blanking when I go to do this? I don't know, it's basically like, I think it's like, I think it's something like that. This. Yes, that. So yeah, like, you got the side there, sort of straight up, back, straight up, side, sort of flat. And then the top, it goes up on an arch, almost, in an angle. It's kind of curved. It's basically like this, except more boxy, and this bit would be like on the top. I think I'm explaining that very poorly, but if you look at like old FLDs with full roof sleepers, I'm pretty sure that, I don't know if you could get them without windows, but all the top windows look something like that. And again, I might be drawing that backwards. Anyway, so thank you to anyone who actually sat around listening to me talk about trucks for half an hour. I don't know if it was half an hour, maybe. The recording's definitely been half an hour. Anyway, so I want to do more of these because I don't have anyone to talk about trucks with. And yes, we'll add to our board and then we'll flip it over when this one gets full, and then when that one gets full, I'll buy a new one. Anyway, I just jot down random shit. Anyway, so thanks for listening to me vent about trucks because I'm a truck nerd and I don't have anyone else to vent to it about or talk to it about. Yeah. See you guys in the next one.